Prologue. Moonlight washed over the hillside, casting heavy shadows around the thick walls of thorn bushes. The bushes surrounded a hollow with rocky sides that sloped down steeply into a pool in the shape of a full moon. Halfway up the side of the hollow, a trickle of water bubbled up between two moss-covered stones, glimmering like liquid starshine as it fell into the pool below. The branches rustled and parted as cats emerged at the top of the hollow and began to pick their way down to the water's edge. Their pelts shone with a soft, pale light, and their paw steps left a frosty glitter on the moss behind them. A tortoiseshell she-cat was the first to reach the pool. She looked around with glowing eyes. "Yes," she purred. "This is the place." "You're right, Spotted Leaf. When we chose the 4 cats to lead the clans out of the forest, we chose well." The reply came from a blue-gray warrior who was approaching from the other side of the hollow. She leaped down from a jutting rock to face the tortoiseshell across the moonlit water. But the clans still have a hard task ahead of them. Spotted Leaf dipped her head in agreement. "Yes, Blue Star, their courage and faith will be tried to their limits, but they have come this far. They will not give up." More starry warriors joined them, clustering around the water until the hollow was lined with their sleek, shining shapes. "Our journey was hard, too," one cat meowed. "But we felt the pain of leaving the paths we had walked for so long," added another. "Now we must learn to walk in new skies." Spotted Leaf's voice was full of confidence. She sat on a rock near the tumbling stream and wrapped her tail around her paws. "We must guide our clans to this new meeting place, where we can speak to the leaders and medicine cats. This will truly be the home for all 5 clans." A murmur of agreement rose, and a gleam of hope shone in the eyes of the cats around her. "They will catch fish from the lake," one cat meowed, "and the prey is running in the hills beside the water," another put in. "All the clans will find food, even in Leaf Bear." The blue-gray warrior still seemed uneasy. "There's more to life than fresh kill," she mewed. The bracken-colored Tom thrust his way to the front of the crowd. "They're not kits," he pointed out impatiently. "They know how to avoid 2 legs, and they're dogs, foxes, and badgers, too." "Not all trouble comes from 2 legs," Blue Star snapped. She swiveled her head to glare into the Tom's eyes. "And not from foxes or badgers either, Oakhart. You know that as well as I do. The clan brings trouble within themselves." The warrior glanced uneasily at one another, but Oakhart dipped his head. "Of course, and they will always will. And this is part of what it means to be a warrior. Trouble from within greatest danger brings." A new voice spoke, deep and gravelly. Blue Star whipped around, her neck fur rising, and stared at the newcomer standing at the top of the hollow. It was too big and solid to be a cat. Instead, it seemed as if a clot of darkness had entered the circle of thorn bushes, in which the watching cats could just make out the broad, muscular limbs and the gleam of the small, bright eyes. After a few heartbeats, Blue Star relaxed. "Welcome, friend," she meowed. "StarClan owes you thanks. You have done well." "By me is little done," the newcomer replied. "These cats, their destiny, have faced with courage. The clans have traveled far and suffered a great deal of sadness that we are powerless to ease," Spotted Leaf agreed. They kept going even when we lost sight and hearing of them among the mountains, and when they walked the paths of a different tribe. Now they must learn to be 4 clans again." She looked solemn. "There will be much pain, especially for those who traveled together to the sun-drowned water. They won't find it easy to forget their friendship. They must mark out new territories as soon as they can." Oakhart's voice rumbled in his throat. "There will be trouble there." "Every warrior will want the best for their clan," meowed Blue Star. "So long as it their clan that they fight for," returned Oakhart, "and not themselves." "And that's where the danger lies," murmured an anxious voice. A tomcat with a glossy black coat was gazing down into the silvery water as if he could see danger rising to the surface like a giant fish. I see one cat, hungry for a power that is not deserved. Not deserved! A lean Tom with a crooked jaw sprang to his paws on the other side of the pool, his fur on his shoulders bristling in fury. Night Star, how dare you say, not deserved? The black Tom's pelt rippled in the moonlight as he looked up. Very well, Crooked Star, not deserved yet, he meowed. This cat needs to learn the virtue of patience. Power is not a piece of prey to be grabbed before it escapes. The cat with the crooked jaw sat down again, though the anger stayed in his eyes. Would you have all our warriors as timid as mice? He muttered. Night Star's eyes narrowed as his tail tip twitched, but before he could spit out another reply, another cat padded forward, the thick-furred gray she-cat with a broad face and a fierce gleam in her eyes. She stood beside Spotted Leaf at the mossy edge of the pool and gazed down into the water. After a few moments, ripples began to spread in circles around the middle of the pool and wash against the bank. The gray she-cat lifted her head. I've seen what will come, she growled. There are dark times ahead. A stir of anxiety passed through the cats like wind rippling through weeds, but no cat dared question her out loud. Well? Blue Star demanded, when the silence had stretched out for several heartbeats. Tell us what you mean, Yellow Fang. The gray she-cat hesitated. I'm not certain what I have seen, she rasped at last, and you won't like what I have to tell you. She closed her eyes, and when she spoke her voice was deeper and quieter than before, so that every cat had to strain to listen. Before there is peace, blood will spill blood, and the lake will run red. Blue Star stiffened, and she bent her head to look into the water. A red stain was spreading across the surface, rippling outward until the water flamed scarlet. It seemed to reflect the fire of the sunset, yet above the hollow the moon still floated in thin drifts of cloud. A gasp of horror rose from the cats. Spotted Leaf padded forward, trembling, and stared desperately into the water as if she were searching for something that would challenge Yellow Fang's ominous words. Are you trying to find out what will happen to Firestar? Blue Star asked her gently. Don't search too hard, Spotted Leaf. You of all cats know that sometimes there's nothing we can do. Spotted Leaf raised her head. There was a fiercely determined light in her eyes. I would do anything to help Firestar, she hissed. I will protect him with the power of StarClan. But that might even not be enough, Blue Star warned her. Around the pool, the warriors of StarClan began to paddle away from the pool, climbing the slope and slipping back through the thorn bushes until the shimmer of their pelts vanished, and only the light in the hollow came from the reflection of the moon in the water. The creature in the shadows remained for a moment longer, watching in silence until the last cat had gone. Then she stirred, and the shaft of moonlight struck her powerful shoulders. Midnight, this is not your place, she growled to herself. It is no more to do. She paused and added, once more maybe, with clans I will meet. Clouded is time to come. As she turned to push her way back through the thorns, a moonlight caught a broad white stripe down the badger's head. Then midnight was gone. The hollow was left empty.